what? So Don't Look Now is not on Netflix streaming anymore, so screw it. For the first day of week 2, I'm just gonna watch this. This is on TV. The Mummy. Screw it. Making up for my mess up last night, I'm gonna get to watch Don't Look Now this morning. Found another way to get it since it's not on Netflix streaming anymore. Gotta check it out and see how I like it. Yeah, another movie to do tonight, and it's gonna be interesting to try to cram 2 movies into what's gonna be a very busy day for me. So, Don't Look Now, I think I have the reaction I have to a lot of movies from like the 60s or 70s that it just doesn't keep my attention. It also didn't help that I'd seen one scene out of this movie and I realized that it was a scene that came at the very end. And I realized it was like partway into watching the movie that the twist at the end I already knew. So that kind of took a lot of the fun out of it on the first viewing. And it just really didn't hold my attention all that well, so not as big a fan of this one. The movie for day 8 of my horror movie marathon is John Carpenter's The Thing. Oh, it's a favorite of mine. I just freaking love this movie. And it's one I've seen so many times that at least this one I could just sit back, not have to worry about paying attention, and know what's going on, and just chill out. Honestly, I only have about maybe an hour and a half before I have to get ready for work, so I don't know how much I'm actually gonna watch. The movie's a little longer than that. And, just see what I can get watched today. I'm gonna watch that when I get home, I guess. One thing that's always weirded me out about John Carpenter's The Thing is the choice in the music. The music for The Thing was done by Ennio Morricone, and it just seems like such an odd stylistic thing for him to have done. Listening to this theme, and pretty much the rest of the music from the movie, stylistically to me it sounds a lot more like this. Than it does, say, this. And it just really makes me wonder why Carpenter would outsource his music when he was just going to ask for the same kind of minimalistic theme. That's his trademark. That's what he always does in his movies. And when I say he always does, I mean he actually composes. He writes, he plays. I don't really understand why The Thing wasn't him. And even if it wasn't going to be him just because of time or something, why did they go with Morricone for that? It just seems like such an odd choice. Strange casting, if you will. Heading to ship off my pork chop commission figure, but looking up in the distance, I feel like I'm driving into Silent Hill. Alright, so getting this thing out in the mail for Tony. Should be to you soon, dude. So without fail, I've been carrying my video camera around with me all day, and now that I don't have it on me, I find something to record. But yeah, I found the Leatherface pop vinyl figure. I've been looking for this guy for a while. I've been hoping to find it in stores. And even today, I honestly was just thinking about buying him on the internet, like this afternoon. I was thinking about going and picking him up online. And I was just like, I want to call some places, do some checks before I pay the shipping for it. And I walked into Barnes & Noble and they had the full set. Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, Leatherface. They also had, I think they had Edward Scissorhands and somebody else. Somebody I didn't really care about. I think it might have been Nightmare Before Christmas or something. The only ones I know of that were horror that they did not have were the Gremlins, the Mogwai, and the actual Gremlin itself. But that's okay. I'm pretty excited to have picked this guy up. Really excited to get him open and check him out. I've just been wanting this figure forever. So super excited to have my hands on him finally. The movie for day 8 of my Halloween movie marathon is Poltergeist, an all-time favorite, even if it's another one of those stupid movies that I never watched until not all that long ago, but I really do love this film. Definitely one I go back to over and over again.
Now Steven Spielberg crosses a frightening new threshold into a world within our own. Its form is revealed.
What is it?
Its focus is clear. And the games are over. Poltergeist. It knows what scares you.
Mommy, that burns.
Oh, sweetie, I'm sorry. The floor needs more wax. Steven, come on, hand you it. Oh, come on, honey, try. It's like there's this tickling, right in here, and it starts to pull you. The tickling pulls you. And all of a sudden, it's like there's no air except that you can breathe. And you're getting pulled along, and maybe...
Hi, Ben.
Oh, I missed your time.
That has been a scene in Poltergeist that has bugged the crap out of me for the longest time. You have the whole scene in the kitchen where she's showing her husband how the whole poltergeist weirdness is working in there. And then you have this really abrupt jump cut to outside. There's like a flash of blue. She's cut off mid-word. And it seems so odd. I actually bought my DVD copy of Poltergeist 3 times. The first 2 times I returned it thinking I had a defective print. Because this just seemed wrong. It seemed like an error in the movie. But it's not. It's universal across the prints. And from the best I can see, it has something to do with Pizza Hut. They're discussing going out for pizza, and apparently Craig T. Nelson's character made some comment about he didn't want to eat at Pizza Hut, it was disgusting, or something like that. And I guess probably for financial reasons, they decided to cut that line from the film, but it apparently was cut very hastily and very sloppily. And just seems very odd to have that in a Spielberg movie. To have something so just poorly done. And I actually made this huge long version of a talk about it about 1.5 years ago. I was so weirded out by it, I was so annoyed by it that I made a big long video of it that just never saw the light of day because I just didn't really know how to work around it or work with it. But it's been something that's constantly bugged me about this movie. And supposedly it was different in the theatrical screenings, but how long has it been since this movie was theatrically released? People's memories aren't the best, and most people have seen this, which apparently is also on the VHS version from what I've heard, though I haven't bothered to track one down to find out. Just a very odd cut that I wanted to mention in this film. Moving on to the second Universal Wednesday. Tonight I'm going to be watching Revenge of the Creature. Revenge of the Creature is the sequel to Creature from the Black Lagoon, and parts of it were filmed right here where I live in Jacksonville, Florida. And I'm excited because very soon, Whitney, myself, and one of my friends is going to go hunt down some of these shooting locations. There are a couple close by that should be pretty easy to go to, even if there's not a whole lot there. But I'm just excited to be able to check out where this movie was filmed. I'm pretty excited, so that's why I'm watching it for research, even though I've seen it many times. So Revenge of the Creature is what I always expect it to be. A good, fun B picture from the 50s, as it always should be. Just a fun movie. And actually, tonight we were thinking about going and hunting down the local shooting locations, doing some filming. And basically, I got off work. The 3 of us got together, started planning what we were going to do, went and got some food. And by the time we finished dinner, we realized that we should just call it a night because none of us really felt up to it. But plans have been remade. Friday night, hopefully, we will be going and checking out these shooting locations. So, at least the local one. Give me a little more time to get my notes together and know exactly what I'm looking for, the landmarks and everything. And hopefully it's a fun time doing that. And I will definitely post updates of what we see there on here. Okay, seriously, this is the second time this has happened this week. I go to watch one of the movies on my list that's on Netflix, and guess what? It got taken off the list. So, time to go find another way to watch Survival of the Dead. Oh joy. Alright, I had to do some searching, but
last time anyone counted, 53
found
million
Survival of
were
the
dying
Dead.
every year. 150,000 every day.
Oh, I don't want to watch this.
That was in normal times.
But I do. But I don't.
Now every one of those
Wish me
people
luck.
gets up and kills another.
there's no way out.
Will one of you give me some more bullets for this gun?
Back again with day 12. Right now I'm working on the script, or a loose script at least, for going out to see where the Gill Man walked in Jacksonville tonight. After I get off work about 9 o'clock, Whitney, myself, and my friend are going to go head down to basically where the Lobster House used to be from the movie. If you've ever seen that movie, it's not the longest scene. The goal is eventually to go and visit all the sites we could track down. The big one is going to be Marineland down in St. Augustine. But for now, this is really local. This is something we could do quickly. So, just writing out a loose script of things I want to make sure get covered, things I want to bring up in the location. But hopefully we'll get down there and there'll be some more things, some extra things that I did not anticipate, which could be really cool. Hopefully, that would be really cool. Worst case scenario, it's a park. For all I know, the park could be closed, or there could be other reasons why we can't get in. Hopefully not. But we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. The horror movie for today is Friday the 13th, Part 6. This is hard to talk in. The horror movie for today is Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. That movie has consistently been my favorite Friday the 13th. Oh, it's a fun movie to rewatch. Though I must say, I am glad we're getting out of this week because I didn't pay attention to my schedule, and I gave myself a bunch of movies I had already seen this week. I had Don't Look Now on Sunday, which I didn't even get to watch on Sunday, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. Then we went on to The Thing, which I've watched a billion times. Poltergeist, watched a billion times. Revenge of the Creature, which I've studied extensively for this project. Last night was Survival of the Dead, which I've only seen once, but I never really wanted to go back to it ever again. I probably will never go back to it ever again. And tonight is Friday the 13th Part 6, probably the one I've watched the most out of that entire series. So, I don't even remember what tomorrow is. Let's go take a look. Tomorrow, oh awesome. Tomorrow is The Birds, one I've never ever seen and really wanted to. I'll talk more about that tomorrow, but yeah, super excited for that. And then, let's see. And next week. Next week is a lot of things I've never seen as well. Alright, I think we did okay. For the rest of the schedule, I think everything's going to be alright. But this week was just a little tedious because I've seen everything and I was actually having fun watching new, interesting things. So, moving on to new and better stuff after today. I mean, not better stuff. I know it's not going to be better stuff. It's hard to beat The Thing and Poltergeist. But still, moving on to new stuff next week. So we've officially wrapped up filming of the first shots of the Creature from the Black Lagoon documentary, and now we just have beer and awesomeness and pizza to come, and Colin is being a jerk. And yeah, good day. Today's movie for the 13th day of my horror movie marathon is Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. A movie that I haven't gotten around to yet, so kind of glad I'm finally getting a chance to watch it.
Surely the birds appreciate all we've done for them. Don't you? Beautiful cage, fresh water, no other birds to bother you, none of that blinding sunlight. Oh, now why would he do that? Most peculiar. What on earth?
They're coming.
Well, I'm glad I finally got to watch The Birds. It weirded me out a little bit. I know it's different pacing for different older movies and stuff, but it really weirded me out how much of the beginning of the movie had nothing to do with the whole bird attack. And I was fine with it watching it because I assumed it was going to really pay off, but it really was just introducing characters that, I don't know, maybe it's my, 2000s slasher mentality when it comes to horror movies, but just like, okay, just give us some generic people and then have them attacked, and I just didn't really see the point in fleshing out the people as much as they did. It just seemed kind of unnecessary. But maybe that's just me. And like I said, it's an older movie, so that kind of, maybe that was just expected when that happened. You hadn't really had the convention of these people you don't give a crap about who are just going to get slaughtered or attacked or whatever. But still, I'm glad I could cross it off my list. It was definitely fun to watch. And it's kind of weird with this movie. I hadn't seen it, obviously, as I mentioned. But as a kid, as a pretty young kid, I remember going to Universal Studios and they had this whole behind the scenes of Hitchcock thing. I remember they had, like, I don't know if they were the real ones or what, but they were what the mechanical birds looked like from the movie. I remember they had a thing where they reenacted how they did the shower scene in Psycho with the chocolate syrup and all that stuff. And that's all I could think of mostly watching this. I'm going to try to actually find and see if anybody has that video up on YouTube and see what that was, since I have vague memories of it. Maybe it'd be kind of cool to see that again. But this wraps up week 2 of my horror marathon. I'll see what it looks like when I get this all edited together, but I'm sure it's not going to be as interesting as the week before, because I just had more time to do things last week. I had the whole Michael Myers thing. I haven't had any customizing that I've been able to get done this week. But next week, I got Halloween Horror Nights, hopefully, at the end of the week, so it's at least something fun to look forward to.